Hey, we love Pep and Jeff Show, Friday Pep Rally. We are the Centennial Huskies. Whose house? Yeah, baby.
And welcome to the greatest show on earth, the Riverside Jeff Rally, here every Friday night at 11 p.m. We've taken over the set here. Our buddy Pep is somewhere in Central California hanging out in a hotel, but Gazal and I are here. Pep's on via satellite. We have a great show ahead for you at the Jeff Rally. A lot more fun than we've ever had before. We have Gazal, we have Ahmed, the great comedian and actor from Riverside, California, coming down to share his fun and knowledge of Riverside. But let's start the show. We got some big highlights. Can we mention and say hello to our friend Pep Fernandez? Hi, Pep. How are you?
Good evening, guys. Yeah, it is late up here in Northern California, up in Redding, if you guys are familiar with the area, up here with some family stuff going on. And but I didn't want to miss the show. But, man, I leave for one Friday night, Jeff, and you literally take everything over.
I'll tell you what, it's a better name anyways. It sounds better, the Jeff Rally. And we had our graphics guy put in a nice new logo for us, as you see there, the Jeff Rally. But, hey, we had some great football games. We also had some bizarre football games, which Gazal and I had tonight. We're going to start the show off with that game. In fact, it was the Riverside TV game of the week, and it was La Sierra versus Arlington at the, Zach Erb Stadium?
Zach Erb Stadium.
Oh, Zach Erb Stadium. And here, can we go to this highlights? Here's the only highlight of the game. Give it to us, Gazal.
Pick six coming, Adrian Mendoza. I make the joke about the big guy running with the football, but he looks pretty good there. 96 yards. What were you doing in 1996, Jeff?
Oh, I didn't have a beard like this guy.
Touchdown Arlington.
He has a full beard, and that was all she wrote. That was the only score we had.
Here's a nice pick by Mays for La Sierra. Sets up the Eagles, but the Lions defense played well today. The Eagles defense played well. I was expecting kind of more of an offensive battle, Jeff. We did not get that.
No, we got a slobber knocker, as our guy Pep Fernandez likes to talk about. But here, this game ends in a little bit of controversy, as we're seeing no highlights. I'm going to tell you, Pep, this might have been the ugliest high school football game I have seen ever. And I mean that. I love to see scoring. You love defense. But this ended up really bad.
And here's kind of how it ends. Oh, no, that's not how it ends.
Yeah, there was a little chippiness going on. But the game ends in the third quarter with how many seconds left?
There we go. About 48 and a half seconds to go. Wild, wacky stuff. Here come the flags. And it was over on the Arlington sideline. A little kerfuffle erupts here. And they send, neutral corners. They send both teams back to their sidelines. And then the athletic directors were on the field. The principals were on the field. The band was not on the field, Jeff. We need to report that. And they decided to call the game in the third quarter. The third quarter was almost over. They award the game to Arlington. And, wild, wacky stuff, as, Johnny Carson used to say. But, obviously we don't like to see extracurricular activity that happen in terms of you don't want to see any kind of fight. You don't want to see anybody get hurt. But from a football perspective, this is a tough one for La Sierra because it's a one-score game going into the fourth quarter with the results still very much in the balance, and the game gets ended off, over some nonsense on a sideline. It's just really disappointing. Hopefully both teams can recover from this, but you never like to see the game end like this, I guess is my point.
No, there's always rumors that run rampant, when something like this happens. We heard, there was rumors that a coach got in an interaction, a fight with a player. Did not happen. I talked to head coach Kevin Argamosa just after the game, driving over here to the set, and he told me exactly what happened, and this is the deal. If both teams left, there was during a fourth down turnover. It was a turnover, so both teams were out in the field. The melee started, so they would have had to suspend half the team going into next week's game. So the La Sierra
both teams, right?
both teams would have had to suspend half their team. So the La Sierra coach and Coach Kevin Argamosa decided that nobody gets kicked out. They end the game there, and they will play another game next week. So catastrophe was avoided, but still, you hate to see a game marred in controversy with a 7-0 loss.
Yeah, I mean, opening week of league play, that's tough for both sides. Obviously, I think Arlington feels a little better because they can put the W in the back pocket, but just, 2 straight weeks, tough things happening for La Sierra.
Yeah, La Sierra is struggling a bit. Hopefully they'll have their playmakers back next week as they will battle Norte Vista at Zach Earp Stadium. So that will put an ending to that curmudgeon, what'd you call it?
Kerfuffle.
A kerfuffle. So we did have other games on Riverside TV. In fact, we're going to go to those highlights right now as Jason goes to it's Patriot versus Ramona. Take it over, Gazal.
Well, we got Patriot and Ramona out there at Ramona High School, Jeff's alma mater, of course. The Rampage. Here come the Rams out of the tunnel. And the first play here, look at Isaiah Miramontes. Slippery, finding some space to the pylon. Touchdown, Patriot. It's 6-0 in the first quarter. Then coming back the other way. Come on, let's go.
Acosta off the run.
Jake Valenzuela, come on, let's go. Touchdown, makes it 7-6 Ram High. Ram High yet again, your favorite running back, Jeff.
The great guy, Sincere Tolbert.
Tolbert to the house, and it's a 12-7 game at that point. Here comes the field goal. I know you love kickers. Freddie Madrid, the kicker for Patriot, makes it a 13-10 game. And here's Diego Ramos with the touchdown. The 25-yard pass play puts Patriot on top. Now the Rams come right back. Sincere Tolbert again to Paydirt, 19-17. And one last gasp for Patriot. Josiah Felix to Paydirt. Touchdown, Patriots. They take the Week 1 River Valley Class, Jeffrey, 24-19. Chris Fowler, he's got his team playing some pretty good football.
Well, that was the big question mark. Nobody had seen Patriot play this season until tonight, and I'll tell you what, they surprised Ramona, the defending champs in the River Valley League, go down 24-19. Ramona 2-3, 0-1, and they have themselves a tough battle to win and repeat as well.
I think actually Patriots record 4-2, but they are 1-0 in River Valley League play.
So it'll be a tough one. Now, what is next on the highlight reel? Norte Vista Hillcrest. I had that game last night, and I'll tell you what, Norte Vista is looking pretty darn good. Ken Batdorf has his team firing on all cylinders. Let's go to the highlights. Here's the first highlight that goes to Tajon Henderson, gets the interception, gets in the face, and then they go right back to Tajon. Tajon for the, this is the interception by Hillcrest. There goes to Freddie Elaine for the score. Then right back it goes to Ramos with a 2-yard run to put the Norte Vista up 13-7. Then Tajon Henderson lights out. Look at him go. Henderson, he had 4 touchdowns. This is an 85-yarder to go up 21-7 in the second quarter. He is phenomenal.
Just a matter of time before Tajon starts talking in the third person, Jeff.
Then it goes to the runner Fabe Sola for the score, and that goes up 34-7. Then they go deep to who else? Tajon Henderson. He has a 61-yard reception for Paydirt, and Norte Vista was playing great. Then they go back to Sola. Fabe Sola crossing the goal line. Sola does more. Wait till you see the next play. Sola's going to do a halfback pass after we see Tajon Henderson run this one in for the score, hitting the pylon. That would almost do it, but here's the halfback pass. Sola to Henderson, 39-yard reception, and the Braves will go on to win 42-14.
What is this sorcery? Norda Vista throwing the football. We got to get Batdorf on the line.
Hey, I'll tell you what, they got a good quarterback in Bolander, the junior. He's starting to throw the football. You and I have talked, if Norda Vista is going to win a CIF championship, they're going to have to throw the football come playoff
You
time.
need a quarterback to make a couple plays in any kind of playoff situation. That bodes well for the Braves going forth, a little more balance.
Yeah, Ken Batdorf feeling like Air Coryell, the old days of the San Diego Chargers. I don't know if they're ever going to throw again, but they sure did look good playing against Hillcrest. Remember, Hillcrest beat them last season in that River Valley League.
The finale.
Yeah, so it was a tough one, but that was a good one for Norda Vista and Ken Batdorf. Look at Pep over there, sitting over there wanting to talk. He's not allowed. You're not allowed to talk yet, Pep.
The Jeff Rally.
The Jeff Rally. Do we have any other highlights that we need to go with, Jason? Oh, we're going to pass this over Pep Fernandez.
Jeff, I gave you one rule. I'm like, hey, listen, the Friday night pep rally
The
will
Jeff
be great.
Rally says, it says right there, buddy.
I know. I see the rebranding. I was like, Jeff, there's one thing you got to do. Just have the rundown open. You're like, oh, yeah, I got it. It's going to be professional. It's going to be great. I got it.
No,
No problem.
it's going off all the cylinders. I mean, they just said, Jeff, walk in here. I put in some earpieces, and they said, do your magic.
And magic it is. But yeah, we got one more game in this segment. It's Liberty taking on West Valley in Mountain Pass League play, their opener. Listen, everyone's looking ahead to that Liberty versus San Jacinto game that we're going to get in a couple of weeks that will probably and ultimately decide the Mountain Pass League championship. But before we get there, you can't overlook some of these other teams in the Mountain Pass, Jeff. Tockwitz is undefeated. West Valley is sneaky good. And there's no gimmies in that league. Even Paris was off to a great start. So let's go to those highlights, Jason. Liberty and West Valley, there's only a couple, and they're defensive highlights. West Valley with the football trying to go to the end zone, but Zach Velasco coming up with a big interception here for the Bison to turn them away. So fast forward to the final seconds of this game. 13-6, Liberty on top, but West Valley has the football on the 9-yard line, and it all comes down to this play. The Mustangs going all in. It's win or go home. The halfback toss and nothing doing. Liberty sniffs it out. And guys, that's it. Time runs off the clock, and Liberty wins 13-6 on the road at that sunken stadium in the middle of campus at West Valley High School. So a little bit of a scare here for the Bison. But like I said, there's no easy games in the Mountain Pass. So maybe that was a little bit of a wake-up call for Liberty as they get closer to that showdown against San Jacinto, which Coach Galliano, I know we already have the final score. We'll get to more scores in just a moment here on the Friday night Jeff Rally.
Thank you.
But Coach you're welcome. Coach Galliano just hit me up. 62-7 was their final score. He just wanted to make sure I knew that. We know that. The Jack wins big. Liberty squeaks by. And that matchup in a couple of weeks is going to be really, really good. Back to you guys in the studio.
Tough one for West Valley to lose close. You know, when you get that close at home, you want to win. But some good news for the West Valley people. West Valley alum Andre Graneo finished the year with the St. Louis Cardinals in AAA. UCR baseball guy. I know it's not football, but I want to throw that out there because their season just ended in AAA with the Cardinals. Congratulations, Dre. We call him Lights Out when he was at UCR, and he's picking up just where he left off with the Cardinal organization. West Valley alum doing great things in baseball.
No, I'll tell you what, though, West Valley, Pep mentioned it, one of the best stadiums ever.
It looked
right
great.
in the middle of campus. It is a fantastic, fun place to watch a football game. But wow, what a great win for the Bison and Liberty. Love those guys. My kids are going to go to school there.
Great place.
Yeah. All right, Jason, what are we doing next here on the Jeff Rally? All right, here's some scores. Chaparral, as Pep Fernandez would say, goes down to defeat to Centennial. Centennial 4-2, 1-0 in league. Number 4 versus number 23. They took care of business. Our guy Matt Logan gave us a nice intro. Santiago versus Murrieta Mesa. The Rams were winless in the preseason. They pull away. They are now 1-5, 1-0 in league. What do you think of that?
Don't sleep on Murrieta Mesa. Yes, they're 0-5, and I know it always sounds silly when coaches say this, but
yes,
the teams Murrieta Mesa played before tonight combined 21-5. That Murrieta Mesa King game in Week 10 is going to decide something. I don't know what it's going to decide. There'll be some high stakes in that one.
High stakes. All right, the next score here up on the There we go. Old Roosevelt getting hammered by Salamander Bachmeyer. Is that bear or tiger or Salamander Bachmeyer?
Lions and tigers and bears, oh my.
Oh, yeah, and Norco going down to defeat to, Vista Marietta. Coach Coley Candale wins 49-27. Coronas win streak goes down. Temecula Valley puts up double nickels, 55-19. Cajon, 37-0. Hey, Jaden Daniels might have played tonight. Did he play tonight, Pep?
He's playing for LSU, Jeff.
Oh, no. Okay, so they beat Redlands East Valley 37-0 minus Jaden Daniels. Yucaipa, Yucktown going up, taking a beating to Jeff Steinberg 39-14, 1-0 in league, 6-0 overall. Citrus Valley, after a big loss last week, comes back winning 56-18 over Redlands. And then here's another good one. Kaiser Cats, Billy Cardosi goes down to defeat in the first game of the season to Harupa Hills 21-14. And then, it's finger losing time.
Pinky game.
Pinky game is still alive. Eisenhower 6-0. They beat Carter 42-7. Remember, that pinky's coming off if they go undefeated. And then Colton and Fontana. Oh, that's a battle of the battles. Fontana 42-39 over Colton. And the last one, Arroyo Valley beating Bloomington 36-8 as they go 5-1, 1-0 into league. Bloomington was 5-1 going into that game and suffered a tough one. Hi, Pep. How you doing over there in where are you anyways? What town?
I am in Redding, California. This is actually my home area. I'm originally from this area. I'm back home in this area, and but still keeping up with all the high school football stuff. Of course, I was going through the scores that you guys are going through. That Bloomington Arroyo Valley game kind of stuck out at me because Bloomington was undefeated and Arroyo Valley's only got one loss on this year. That was actually one of the better matchups, at least going into this week, just based on record-wise. And now Bloomington and Arroyo Valley, the winner of that game, which we just saw was Arroyo Valley, they're going to have a showdown with San Gorgonio and our guy Chris Chaddick at some point to decide that league championship down the road.
I hope he doesn't bring kimchi with him to any games. It was horrible.
Pep, what did you think? That Beaumont-Yucktown matchup was very compelling to me. Early in the season, that's a problem is in league play. You got to play who's on your schedule when they're on your schedule. A big game for Jeff Steinberg and Beaumont.
Yeah, because, Yucaipa was 5-0, and so was Beaumont for that matter. But I felt like Beaumont had played and beaten some better teams to get to that point. And Ghazal, you made a great point. Some of these teams, like Marietta Mesa, you look at their record, you're like, oh, wow, they're having a down season. They're not that great this year. But that's a little deceiving because you got to take into account the teams they played early on in non-league. And I think for Beaumont, they were tested. They played and beat some really good teams along the way. And for Yucaipa, yes, they were 5-0, but they didn't have that signature win in that non-league play. So is Yucaipa good? Yeah, they're still really good, but Beaumont really, I think Jeff Steinberg has taken them to that next level. That Beaumont versus Citrus Valley game, Beaumont versus Cajon. In fact, Beaumont versus CV is next week, so that's going to be a huge game in that Citrus Belt League title race.
No rest for the weary, Jeff.
No rest for the weary. Well, hey, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to have more here on the Jeff Rally on Friday night. We have a special guest in studio. The great comedian Ahmed Ahmed will be in to talk about his days at John W. North and some of the things he's doing in the community to help out some people in need here on the Jeff Rally.
Hey there, Riverside residents! Did you hear about the awesome e-waste, document shredding, and battery collection day the city recently held? It was the perfect opportunity to get rid of those pesky items that are tough to dispose of properly.
We're here to drop off some documents and some batteries and just some household goods that normally we can't get rid of.
The city offers plenty of other ways to declutter your home. If you've got big items that won't fit in your trash can, don't worry. There are bulky item drop-off events just for that. And what about all those old paint cans and other chemicals you're not sure how to dispose of? the city's got you covered with hazardous household waste events. And let's not forget about the free drop-off days at the Agua Mansa Solid Waste Facility. It's like a one-stop shop for all your hard-to-throw-away items. Plus, it's free and super convenient.
I'm here to drop off batteries and e-waste and bulbs. It's so much more convenient.
So if you're ready to declutter your home and make your life easier, come on down to one of these awesome events. You'll be doing your part to keep our community clean and green.
I waited for this event for probably about a couple years. I've got all these boxes of paper in my garage, so I'm so happy that I finally get to rid of them.
To find out more about our Clean Up Riverside program and waste collection events, visit riversideca.gov/cleanupriverside.
Back here on the Friday Night Jeff Rally, minus Pep Fernandez, but I am joined now by a friend of our boy Ghazal Hassan and a friend of Riverside. He's Ahmed Ahmed, the comedian, the actor, the entrepreneur. How you doing today?
Good to see you, man.
Great to have you.
Yeah, thanks.
Now, you're a Riverside North guy, aren't you?
I am. I went to North High School from 1984 to 88.
And now, did you grow up in Riverside? Is this? I mean, when did when did you end up here?
So I'm Egyptian. My parents immigrated from Cairo, Egypt in 1970. We landed in Downey, California for some reason. And then my father got a job pumping gas at the gas station, at the Shell gas station on Blaine and 3rd.
Oh, okay, right just down the road
Right
here.
down the street, for like $1.75 an hour. He came for like the American dream. He ended up buying the gas station. And then, yeah, I went to Highland Elementary School, University Heights, and then ended up at North High School.
Now this is a football show here. Yeah. Now you were a football player at John W. North High School, correct?
I played for a minute. Yeah, I played soccer for a couple years. I took a dab at water polo, wasn't good at it, and I played football my freshman year, and then I didn't play sophomore, junior. Then I came back and played my senior year.
Okay, now obviously, sports are a big part of everybody's life here in Riverside. Yeah. How do you go from, or how does sports help you become an actor and a comedian? How does that happen?
I think sports, I mean, look, I recommend sports to anybody that wants to do anything entrepreneurial. It provides teamwork, discipline, consistency, punctuality. You know what I mean? Like when you play on a sports team, you're obligated to be on time, be a team player, do the work, first one in, last one out, that whole. And I think that just kind of transcended into my acting and especially comedy world, because it's very competitive. I don't think people realize the acting business is competitive, but being a stand-up comic is like uber competitive, because you're just on your own. There is no team.
Yeah.
And even when there is a team kind of element, there's still competition, and people don't want you to win.
Yeah.
So you're always trying to be like a step ahead of everybody.
Now, is it as cutthroat as people say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you always want to get into entertainment? Were you an actor in high school?
Yeah, I did. So I did a lot of like plays, lip sync contests. I was in a couple of talent shows. I just always saw myself in the entertainment industry. I grew up watching 70s and 80s like sitcoms, movies. Remember Canyon Crest movie theater?
I used to go there all the time.
I used to go buy it. I used to get there like 11 a.m. on a Saturday and Sunday, buy one ticket.
I used to do the same thing.
And then just bounce around. Like you'd sneak out of the movie and go into another theater and watch it. I'd spend 8 10 hours at the movie theater. And I remember just watching these movies and being fascinated by the magnitude that film offers. And so my initial dream and I guess progression into LA or into Hollywood and into the industry was to be an actor, to be a serious actor. I wanted to be like Clint Eastwood, Jack Nicholson, Robert De Niro, Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
Those were my guys, Marlon Brando. And so I did. I took acting classes. I worked 2 or 3 jobs. I was a waiter. I was a personal trainer. I sold shoes, women's shoes.
So you were the Al Bundy.
I was 9 West, you know this place,
yeah,
9
yeah.
West? Yeah, I was like looking at women's bunions and just like, what am I doing? And then I would take acting classes at night. I eventually got an agent. I eventually started working. And then I kind of segued into film and television, but it was the same part every time. The terrorist, the cab driver, the sleazy Arab guy that you're not really sure of and all that. And it was great. I was working with big stars and on big budget projects. But it was the same role over and over and over. And I just wanted a voice. And so I told my agent, I said, hey, can I just audition for like the friend, the cop, the teacher, you know? And at the time they said, you need to change your name. And I said, why? They said, because they're not going to cast the friend or the doctor or the cop or whatever with the name Ahmed Ahmed. It's just not going to fly. And I was like, well, I didn't want to change my name.
What would your name have been? Do you remember any of the names?
I did actually change it for about 3 weeks.
Were you like Bob Simmons? Or what?
Anthony Adami.
Anthony Adami. All right.
Because I figure like nobody can figure out where that's from.
Yeah.
It's very ethnically ambiguous.
Yeah.
Is he Italian? Is he Greek? Is he this? Is he that? And then I remember going into casting offices, and I would sign up, and I would look at my lines, and all the other actors were there, and they would call me, Anthony Adami, Anthony Adami, and I forgot that I had like changed my name. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that's me. And I felt weird. I felt like I kind of sold my soul a little bit, so I was like, nope, I'm gonna go back to Ahmed Ahmed. And then I just said, hey, don't call me unless it's like a non-stereotypical part.
Okay.
Like I'll audition for stuff, but it has to be like mainstream. And the phones just stopped ringing.
Wow.
So I ran out of money. I quit acting. Not quit, I kind of just took a hiatus. I went back to waiting tables. I worked at this restaurant in Pasadena called Twin Palms that Kevin Costner used to own back in the day. It was just a posh 500-seat, like really nice restaurant. And I was making my customers laugh a lot every night. And they were tipping me a lot.
Yeah.
And this woman one night said to me, you should be a comedian. And I thought, because it was always in the back of my mind, but more as like a hobby, not like a career.
Career, okay.
So I took her advice, and I decided, waiters make money off of tips because of the service, not necessarily because of the food. So I just figured comedians are pretty much waiters. Let's just cut out the food, go straight to commerce. And that's why I became a comic.
Now, before we get into the comedy aspect, I want to ask you this, it came to my mind. Do you remember the first time you saw yourself on the big screen? Because I remember you
Yeah.
What was it, and what was your? I mean, was it a thought of pride, or what's going through? Because I'll never experience that because I'm never going to be.
It's not too late, bro. Not too late.
I'll be the big bouncer guy, or whatever. I'll be typecast. But what was it like seeing yourself on the screen for the first time?
The first movie I ever did, where I had my first break, was a film called Virtuosity, with Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe.
Oh.
I don't know if you remember the movie.
Yeah, I do.
Big $70 million, but I can't remember how I got cast in the movie, but I had one line. And Denzel Washington plays this, if I remember the storyline correctly, he was an ex-con that was pulled out of prison to go save the cyber killer, whatever, Russell Crowe, unknown Russell Crowe at the time. And there was this whole thing where Russell Crowe's character was taking over this building in downtown LA, this cyber killer character, or bad guy. And there was like all this news cameras and news team, and I was one of the cameramen. And I was like filming the scene, and Denzel Washington comes up to me and he taps me on the shoulder and he says, where's the studio? And I looked at him and I said, 38th floor.
It had to be kind of nice. So your first interactions with Denzel, I mean, did you get a tear to your eye when seeing it?
Yeah, I mean, I went to the movie. I saw myself on the big screen. I had one line. There was my face. It was funny because I have never talked to or met Denzel after that, but huge fan of his. Yeah. And this was right after he did Malcolm X. And I asked Denzel, I said, hey, I heard you read the Holy Quran in order to
know the character.
Yeah, to like be prepared for this character. And he's like, oh yeah, the Quran, yeah, I read it, not back to back, but I read it.
Well, I'll tell you what, you are working with some big-time comedians. You yourself, we have a few mutual friends, but you're doing a benefit, aren't you, coming up here?
Yeah, October, is it October? It's October 12th. It's in Los Angeles. It's at a place called Jam in the Van. We have 2 shows that Bill Burr is going to headline. If you don't know who Bill Burr is, just Google Bill Burr. He's one of the most...
He has a new movie coming out.
Yeah, Old Dads.
Yeah.
No, he's great. I've known Bill for a long time. It's funny because I called up a bunch of comics to ask if they'd do this event, and he was the only one who got back to me.
Really?
Which I thought was strange because he's one of the biggest comics in the world right now. So yeah, but we sold out. 100% of the proceeds are going to the victims who suffered the Maui fires and the Moroccan earthquake. Or the Morocco earthquake, excuse me. But now there's a bunch of other natural disasters happening in Libya, and there's flash flood, and there's like all sort of natural disasters. So we're gonna for the Maui charity, Jason Momoa, the actor Jason Momoa, Aquaman. He has a fund that we're gonna donate that money to that goes straight to the victims. And for Libya and Morocco and these other tragedies that are happening around the world, Islamic Relief USA, they do, and I've worked with them before. They're hands-on and on the ground, and all the money will go there. But yeah, we're sold out. So.
Now you're performing. Are you performing this weekend?
Well, I'm doing a show actually tomorrow night in Upland.
Okay.
At a place called Last Name Brewery, from what I understand. They don't do comedy there. It's the first time. It's a free show, 7 o'clock. If you're in Upland, it's called Last Name Brewery. So I'm there tomorrow night. And then I don't really have anything much going on. I'm going out of the country mid-October. I'm doing a whole Middle East tour. I'm going to Lebanon, Bahrain, Oman, Qatar, and Kuwait.
Oh, okay, so you're all over the world.
And then I'm going to London. Yeah, I'm doing like my little world tour.
Now, do you take guys with you on the road with you?
When I go international, well, these days I haven't been, just because it doesn't make sense financially. But yeah, if I do stuff in the U.S., I typically take guys. We know Bobby Ulrich.
Yeah, one of our interns with Pep Fernandez at the Inland Sports Show. We had him for a couple years. Great guy.
I met Bobby Ulrich in the comedy scene in L.A. He's a great comic. He does a lot of. He was like a ex-YouTuber.
Yeah, and he used to edit film for us for a lot of football games.
He's a great editor, and so he clips a lot of videos for comics.
Okay.
And then we'll take him on the road with us, and he's very funny. So he comes with me a lot, and I have a couple other guys that I work with that I take with me. And yeah, I do shows at the Ice House in Pasadena. Jam in the Van, if you've never been to Jam in the Van, it's a place in West LA, jaminthevan.com.
Okay.
They do music, they do comedy, they do cooking, they do all sort of cool events there.
Okay, and before I let you go, I got to ask you, roaming the streets of Riverside as a kid, give me a memory that you think about when you go back to think about Riverside?
I mean, gosh. So, I went to North High School. You know, when I got older and I started driving and we would go to parties and stuff. What was that place up in the hills where people would go and bring a keg, and I forgot the name of it.
Oh, I know what you're talking. Yeah, yes.
It was like called the Post or the Hill.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
But every North High School, Poly High School, Ramona, Arlington, everybody would drive their trucks up to this, or cars up to this like ledge of this cliff, and overlook all of Riverside and blast music, and you know somebody always had like a keg of beer or alcohol. That's pimped or whatever.
Having fun.
But yeah, downtown Riverside. I mean, I spent a lot of time up at Mount C.
Okay.
On the top of Blaine Street.
Yeah.
I would hike up there almost every weekend and just go up there and catch lizards and just do what like teenage kids do, and ride our bikes. North High School was a very diverse campus, so you had black, white, Mexican, Asian. Not a lot of Arabs. Not a lot of us.
No. Now, if people want to get a hold of you, do you have a website they can go to?
I'm on Instagram. It's Ahmed Comedy. I think it's right there in the
there it is.
Lower third. Ahmed Comedy on Instagram. TikTok, the Ahmed. I post a lot of my clips, sometimes old, sometimes new. I always update where I'm going to be. So if you just go to my Instagram and want to come check me out, please come check me out.
Well, it's always nice having a Riverside guy, and we've had the Cheech Marin Museum came in.
Yeah, I
so
saw
we've done some stuff with them, but it's always great to have somebody who's made it and come back to Riverside and tell us their story. So thank you for joining us.
Man, I appreciate that.
All right,
appreciate you. Thanks.
He is the great Ahmed. Check him out, and make sure you've been in. Okay, before you name a couple movies they can see you in.
Oh, I was in Iron Man.
Yes, you were. I saw that.
I played terrorist number 4 in Iron Man. Thank you, Ghazal, for laughing. I was in the Adam Sandler comedy called You Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Yeah, great movie.
I had a small part in the movie Swingers back in the day with Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau. If you just go on my IMDb and punch in my name, I was on Weeds.
Oh, okay.
I did a TV series called Sullivan and Son for 3 years. Yeah, I'm like one of those actors that you don't really know me from like a famous thing. It's like a part that I did in a movie that I have to explain.
Yeah.
It's like, remember that movie? Remember the scene where everybody runs out?
Yeah.
Remember the guy who ran out last?
That was you.
That wasn't me. I was the guy who ran out after him. But I always have to explain my part.
Exactly.
But right now I'm just like developing stuff. And I was telling Ghazal on the way up here, I haven't been in anything in 7-8 years, just because I've been focusing on comedy. So I'm just I'm trying to write my own ticket now.
Okay.
So a couple movies, a couple TV shows I'm developing, so I can place myself in these roles and not have to audition and go through that process. That's tedious.
Well, you can put me in as the bouncer number 3.
I'll tell you off camera, I'm developing this butt, can I say it?
Yeah, you can say it. It's all right.
Kick-ass TV show that I'll tell you about. You'd be perfect for it.
Well, hey, I'll tell you what. I have a face for radio, but a great voice. Hey, thank you for joining us, Ahmed.
Appreciate you.
And we appreciate. We're going to follow your success, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come right back, it'll be more from the Friday Night Jeff Rally here on Riverside TV.
The City of Riverside Public Works Department provides high-quality trash and recycling services for our customers. Convenient curbside trash collection services promote a clean and healthy Riverside. To help us provide you with top-quality service, we ask you to follow a few key rules. There are 3 different containers for your trash. The blue bin is for recyclables and should only be used for clean recyclable materials such as aluminum cans, cardboard, glass bottles, plastics, and styrofoam. The old brown bin, or new bin with gray lid, is for standard household trash and items not suitable for the other bins, such as animal waste, cactus, palm fronds, soil products, and other waste. The green barrel is for your grass clippings, leaves, weeds, and other plant materials, excluding palm fronds, cactus, and yucca. And please remember not to use any of the containers for heavy construction waste such as concrete. For a complete guide to sorting your trash, please visit riversideca.gov/publicworks.
It's Gary Adcock here. Make sure you turn in every Friday night to the dynamic duo, Jeff and Pep, for the Friday Night Pep Rally.
All right, we're back here on the Friday Night Jeff Rally. It was great having Ahmed come in studio and join us today, but we're going to actually hand the show over to the man. Oh, we have more highlights. I'm sorry. Jason tells me we have more highlights. We have the North highlights. We're going to go to those right now.
All right, I'm going to go a little John Facenda here. Good job on the interview, Jeff. So we go to the frozen tundra of 3rd and Chicago, and here's Sire Gaines. We thought he wasn't going to play. He's in the game, and he touches Pater at 7-0 in favor of Orange Vista. Coyotes on a roll. Special teams. The Coyotes go to the matrix. Mr. Anderson, that's Jesse Anderson here, gets to midfield, and he is gone, as they say. 84-yard punt return in the second quarter. 21-0 Coyotes. Can North muster a little bit of resistance? They need to go to their offense, and their quarterback, we know him as Cameron Shannon, and Shannon gets to the outside, and he will go all the way to pay dirt. Just like DoorDash, he is to the house, and that makes it 21-7, but the Coyotes were pretty good. He pulled up a little bit there. Khalil Abdul-Aziz looking down, and it's just Savion Duffy Cooper. Savion Glover brings the noise. Just Savion Duffy Cooper bringing the funk here to make it 40-7. And then the coup de grace coming for the Coyotes. Here's Alofa Majeo with the pick six. There's the pick six. There's the pick. And here's the six, and that made it 46-7. And week one of Ivy League play very much dominated, flipped the score there. It was Orange Vista 54-13 over J-Dub on homecoming nonetheless. And we had Ahmed in here. He's a North guy, homecoming. Not a good day for the Huskies, but the Coyotes, again, one of those teams, Jeff, they're 2-3, but they're 3 losses. I think Marietta Valley, Vista Marietta, and Mission Hills out of San Diego, which are all very, very strong teams. So their record a little misleading. And the Battle Station fully operational tonight.
It was nice seeing Sire Gaines actually playing. We had heard he had hurt his foot. Didn't look like he was hurt at all.
No.
To say the least. Well, look at that guy over my shoulder. I think he wants to talk. Are we going to Pep now? All right, let's go over
Yes.
that guy. That guy, Pep Fernandez, who's in the bowels of some hotel.
Listen, I'm getting all kinds of text messages. They're like, listen, the Jeff rally, come on, man. It's got to be over.
What? Are they? Who's talking? I'm going to take receipts.
Everybody. All of Riverside. No, I'm just kidding. No, you guys are doing a great job. Jeff, you guys are doing fantastic. I really do appreciate you guys stepping up and doing all these highlights. I do want to say about Orange Vista, you know, they battled Vista Marietta. Remember, in fact, they probably should have beat Vista Marietta. They battled Cajon. So this is a really good team, and not really surprised that they beat North handily, and they should be the favorite to win the Ivy League championship game. Orange Vista's that good.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're going to play. The brothers are going to play, aren't they? Isn't it Rancho Verde and Orange Vista are going to battle it out pretty soon here, right?
Yeah, that's week 10. That'll be the final week of the regular season. So if I'm looking ahead down the road, I would say that's going to be a very meaningful game. Probably the Ivy League championship based on what the other teams are doing right now in the Ivy League. Elsinore's pretty good, so Elsinore might trip up one of those teams, but in fact, they did it last year. Elsinore, remember, beat Orange Vista last year to make the Ivy League interesting going into week number 10. But, yeah, they're going to play each other in week 10 of this season. So the Ivy League's a lot of fun, and it's going to come all the way down to that final game of regular season play.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Elsinore when they play J-Dub. I think October 20th, I believe, will be at 3rd in Chicago for Orange Vista. Or sorry, not Orange Vista, but JW North against Elsinore. So we'll get a little more taste of Ivy League. We saw, obviously, Orange Vista tonight.
Well, Pep, what else do we have? What are you doing over there in Reading? What do you have for us?
Oh, man, we still got more games to get to, Jeff. We have highlights from 4 more games. I know we've got some more scores to get to as well. But let's start with another one of our Riverside schools, Notre Dame, playing on the road at San Gorgonio. It has been a rough go for the Titans, and it did not get any better in this game. 13 seconds in this game, the turnover in the end zone, touchdown Sanji, Wyatt Teava. Then it's Dylan Carolina on the touchdown. And Carolina again on this score. Like I said, Notre Dame, it's been a rough season, and tonight's game was not any better. How about this kick return for heads Carolina, tails California, going all the way back for the touchdown. So what is that, his 3rd touchdown of the game? Dylan Carolina and Sanji just putting it on Notre Dame tonight. Here's quarterback Peyton Clark, who's one of the better signal callers in the area, finding Deron Tyson for the score, and Tyson's going to do the rest, gets into the end zone here. 28-0 at that point, and Francisco Morales also with a score, 55-14, the final score for Sanji. So Sanji's going to play a Royal Valley in a couple weeks. I know you guys mentioned the Royal Valley score against Bloomington a little bit earlier, so now that game looks like it could be very interesting. A Royal Valley having a great bounce-back season under T.J. Stanford, which is very exciting to see. Another game we want to get to, Indian Springs taking on San Bernardino. The Cardinals looking real strong tonight. They hardly pass the football. Very run-heavy, a la Norte Vista, of course, right? The Cardinals doing work. Xavier Alvarez, the first down. Then Alvarez, the QB, sneaks in for the first Cardinals touchdown of the game, the first of many tonight against against Indian Springs. Alvarez now coming up with a big run, calls his own number. He's going into Coyotes territory, about to the 20-yard line. And here comes the H train as we go back the other way in the second quarter. The H train, Henry Hernandez, big run here, and here comes another great run for San Bernardino. I think they've only completed like 3 passes all year long. Heavy on the run. And here comes Isaiah Lopez, another one of those great runners for San Bernardino. We talked about the H train, Xavier Alvarez. Here comes Isaiah Lopez. He's going to go in for another Cardinals touchdown, getting just inside the pylon there for San Berdue. Hernandez had several touchdowns in this game. We're going to see another touchdown run by Hernandez as he's going to scoot down the line, drag down inside the 5, but he did the work, so let him get paid. We'll cap it off with this highlight right here. The H train plowing into the end zone as San Bernardino wins by a final of 28-6. So you can be heavy on the run, and you can win a lot of football games in San Bernardino and Norte Vista, for that matter, proving that. Although I did see Norte Vista throwing the ball in the highlights, and you guys were saying what kind of Novi sorcery or wizardry is going on. I like that line because, when they throw the football, you're like, what's going on here? So very interesting for Norte Vista and San Bernardino to stick with the run, and the run pays off. They win that football game there. Now let's go to the Big West Conference, and every game in the Big West Conference is massive. Jason, let's go to Norco versus Vista Marietta first. I thought going into this game, it was going to be a real slobber knocker. It was going to be close. Whoever had the ball last was going to have a chance to win. I was wrong. It was all Broncos in this one. Norco with the football. They're back to punt, and man, that is not going to go well. It's going to be a recovery for the touchdown. I think it was number 49 recovering in the end zone for the score for Vista Marietta, and that just began the landslide. It was an avalanche of Bronco touchdowns against Norco. Here's sophomore QB Bryson Beaver to Sean McCullough. Big Mac on the other end right there with the touchdown for Vista Marietta. And it was a 14-7 game. And here comes another Vista Marietta score. Beaver to Aaron Meyer this time. Pushes that Vista Marietta lead to 21-7. There is Meyer running into the end zone. So a 2-touchdown lead at that point, and they would keep their foot on the gas against Norco. Still in the first quarter, this all happened in the opening frame. It's going to be Beaver to A.J. Jones on the TD strike. So that lead continuing to grow for Vista Marietta. And as we mentioned, Norco did not do themselves any favors. On the ensuing kickoff, Norco cannot handle the football. It's on the turf, and the Broncos recover, and it would lead to this after the turnover. Yes, Bronco football. Beaver, check out this incredible throw to the one and only Brody Gwynn. A great throw, a great route by Gwynn. He was built for this. 35-7 now, Vista Marietta. I told you, I thought this game was going to be great, and it was going to be close. But Vista Marietta just had it clicking on Thursday night. Third quarter now, it's going to be Beaver taking a big hit in the backfield there, but fires away and finds Gwynn again. Norco, oh man, this could not find a way. It's going to be Norco with the football. They're going to turn it over. We'll cap it off with this highlight coming up after that Gwynn touchdown. Norco's going to turn it over. Jake Hogue will run it back for Vista Marietta. Now, the score is a little deceiving because Norco did tack on some touchdowns late in this game, but Hogue and the Broncos win 49-27, the final score. A decisive win for Vista Marietta. We'll keep it in the Big West Conference because we had Centennial taking on Chaparral. And for Centennial, they were going up against the runner-up from the league last season. Let's go to those highlights. And it was kind of close early on. Centennial with the football. QB Hassan Longstreet finds his guy, Corey Butler. And 80 yards later, the Butler did it as he trots over the goal line and in for the touchdown there. Chaparral, though, actually made things close in the first quarter. First quarter, okay, guys? It was 12-7, Pumas on top. And following a Pumas TD, it's going to be Butler the other way. Look, the kickoff return for the touchdown. He's going to fall right near the goal line, but they're going to say he got in there. It was a score. That was not a fumble. The ground caused that. So now it's Centennial back on top, and they would not look back. Malachi Roby, I think that's 28, going in for the touchdown there for Centennial. We'll get to Cornell Hatcher in just a moment, but that was Roby on the touchdown. And then Centennial going back to the air. Longstreet to Tyler George, 29 yards on that touchdown strike. And then more from Centennial. Check out this play. Longstreet to the receiver, Seth Zamora, who heaves it down to Dylan Wallner on the TD. A little trickery from the Huskies, and it pays off with another 7. Cornell Hatcher, 50 yards on this TD score. He had that huge game in the previous week against Liberty, and he's up to his old tricks. The Huskies with 431 yards of total offense, and they beat Chaparral 58-19, the final, in a battle of last year's league champ against the runner-up from a year ago. Chaparral's going to get Vista Marietta next week, and guys, that is going to be another huge game. Centennial will take on Roosevelt. Roosevelt fell to Marietta Valley tonight, so the Big West Conference every week is a huge game, but I'm very excited about that Chaparral versus Vista Marietta contest. Guys, I'm going to toss it back to you because I believe we got more scores to get to on the Friday night Jeff Rally.
Yes, finally you say it correctly, but I want to know. Let's pull up some scores. Rubino, 35 over Pacific. Pacific having some struggling. 0-6, 35-14.
Break up the dough. That's 2 in a row for them.
And then San Bernardino, we saw those highlights as they dismantled Indian Springs 28-6. And then Citrus Hill.
The Jack.
Wow. Galliano. The Galliano Winery is wide open, and they win 62-7 over Citrus Hill.
Tockwitz. Blanks Paris. That's over in your neighborhood, Jeff.
Yes, it is. But what, man, Tockwitz 6-0. They're going to
looking good. They're looking
very good. And then Liberty the Bison, 5-1, 1-0 in league, 13-6 over West Valley.
Yeah, Mustangs will have to settle for a fact. One of their baseball players went to AAA with the Cardinals. The Rancho Verde High over Temescal Canyon, 42-7. You know, don't sleep on the Rancho Verde version of the Mustangs.
And another one of those brothers that are coaching all over the place. Then you have Elsinore, 37-17 over Heritage. Heritage 0-6, struggle. Remember, they won 10 straight championships. They were undefeated for 10 years. They end up now they're struggling a bit, 0-6 and now 0-1 in league.
Canyon Springs, Moval. It's a tough one. This is a rivalry game.
Moval!
In week 1 of conference play. The Springs 21-20 over the Vikings.
And Rancho Christian goes down to defeat. Hey, how good has Hemet been this year?
Dogs, baby.
They're taking care of business. Rancho Christian suffers a loss 23-16.
Yeah, Bulldogs with the win there. Rancho Christian, no joke. That's a good win for him.
That's a great win. And then Pep's favorite school, Aquinas, 46-26 over Village Christian. That's a big win. They are 1-0 in league.
Jeff, you can take over the show, but Arrowhead Christian is Pep's favorite school.
Oh, by far.
48-14. You can take over the show, you can throw the party, but respect Arrowhead Christian. ACA, that's Pep's school.
Remember, they beat Arroyo Valley, and Arroyo Valley's doing pretty well, so ACA on the board. My old school, Santa Rosa Academy, beating up on Hamilton. It was a great play, but they can't play football. None of those guys can play football because, they're all actors.
Are you Aaron Burr, sir?
I am Aaron Burr. I love Hamilton. I love my musical theater. Look, well, Pep, I think that'll do it for some of the scores. What do we got going on now?
Well, let's take a quick look, guys, at what's coming up next week. I believe the Riverside TV game is Hillcrest versus Ramona, and two teams trying to get off the snide, right? The River Valley League Championship race began this week, and both teams coming off losses. So Hillcrest versus Ramona, like I said before, Novi's the favorite, but that battle for, who's going to knock off Novi, who's going to finish in second, who's going to finish in third. Man, I feel like everyone top to bottom in the River Valley League has a chance to really mess some things up for some other teams.
Mentor versus pupil action there. It's like Obi-Wan against Anakin. Travis Carter against Ken Mashinsky.
Yeah, here's what bothers me, though. You have last year's league champion Ramona. They could go 0-2 to start the River Valley League.
That's a tough
one of those two
assignment.
teams who were great last year are going to start 0-2. Patriot has thrown a monkey wrench. It could be a tie, as always. We had, the five-way tie? How many years ago was that, Pep?
2017.
Yeah, 2017, five-way tie for first place in the River Valley League.
And speaking of the RVL, we're talking about Hillcrest and Ramona both being 0-1 going into next week. How about Arlington taking on Patriot? Both those teams are 1-0 going into next week. So whoever wins that one continues that collision course with, potentially with Norte Vista.
Yeah, and there we go. That's October 6th, Arlington versus Patriot.
Ball control, ball control, ball control. And then after the game, Kevin Arcamosa and Chris Fowler in the confines of a 10-foot-high steel cage for the postscript.
Oh, that'd be a good one. Those two guys are tough looking.
They're both wrestling fans. It's a joke. It's a little joke. I don't think there's any animosity there, but they're both big wrestling fans.
Well, I want to make some animosity. I want to see these two guys fight. I love both those guys. And then La Sierra versus Norte Vista. This is the big rivalry, and it will be at Norte Vista. It will be the homecoming for the Braves, but that should be a good one as well. We didn't get to see a lot of La Sierra. They didn't finish the game, but Norte Vista looking to battle.
We did see Ken Backdorf tonight. He seemed in very good spirits, Jeff.
He's always okay. And then Santiago versus King. That's a good one. 3-2 King. They play, I think, did King play tonight or did they play last night? We don't have the score. And then we have to say Poly is playing Paloma Valley tomorrow on Saturday. That'll be Poly's homecoming. And then Notre Dame versus Royal Valley. Royal Valley 5-1. Their only loss, ACA.
That'll be a tough one. North and Rancho Verde, an old Inland Valley League matchup, this time slid over to the Ivy League.
Gotta love it. And then Riverside Poly versus Rancho Christian. That will be a good one. That'll be October 6th at 7 p.m.
Yeah, it's a little strange, right? That's not a league game, right? Because Poly's only playing 3 league games.
That is right.
Okay.
That is right. And then Calvary Chapel versus California School for the Deaf Riverside. My favorite team. Go Cubs.
That's Thursday, October 5th.
Oh, okay. Well, we are all here
Jeff,
together.
That's it.
That's it. We're done?
Yeah,
we're done with the Jeff Rally?
It's midnight. We all want to go home. You're tired. I'm tired.
You get to walk like 15 feet to your hotel room, buddy. I got to drive. I don't want to hear it.
That is true. Maybe I'm gonna, if you want to see, full disclosure, I'm here in the gym. Maybe, in fact, look, I've been working out this whole time. I've been sitting on this workout ball.
Well, it's either I think you might have shrunk. You are a little bitty guy. That's a baseball. He's holding a baseball. Well, Pep, I hope we held down the pep rally for you. Next week you can go back to the pep rally, but hopefully we'll see you next Friday.
Hope the family's doing well,
I have one quick question for you guys. I've been kind of out of a loop. Do you guys have a game tomorrow? Because I know 2 Riverside High Schools are playing. RCC's playing.
We do have a game, RCC versus Mount San Jacinto. Scott Brocious, our illustrious commander-in-chief, signed the deal last night, and we will have the game tomorrow, 6 p.m. on Riverside TV, and it will be the first time we're going to see the new stadium at Mount San Jacinto in Menifee.
I can't wait. I didn't know that. I'll have to tune in tomorrow night, check out some of that. And we have a couple of Riverside High Schools playing, Poly and King both have separate games on Saturday. So it's a big Saturday for football in the Riv.
Yeah, they have the Bears are playing their homecoming. You know what? I was going to ask Ahmed if he hated Poly. I forgot to ask him because everybody in Riverside hates Poly. Except for me. I kind of like him a little bit, but I still have to say I hate him. But all right, but hey, I'm going to ride my 10-speed bike tomorrow as Gazal's working some ESPN soccer. I've got the unfunny Nick Rice over here in the window. He's going to work with me tomorrow at the RCC game.
Come on, be nice.
I was going to bring him on, but he's like a little kid. He had been playing on the floor with Legos.
He never saw Ace Ventura?
No, he's never seen anything. He's lost. But hey, Nick Rice and I will have the call. But Pep, thank you again for joining us via satellite from Redding, California. Sorry to hear about your grandfather's passing, but I'm sure he was a good fellow. He was probably 150. You're darn 50 years old. How old was your grandpa?
He was 96, almost 97. World War II veteran, great guy. So it was a great celebration to remember him. So it's good to be back home, but I miss you guys. Gazal, Jeff, you guys did fantastic. Glad we got so many games and highlights in tonight, and I can't wait to see you guys next week.
Okay, say a prayer for my guy, Joseph Ringer, Pep Fernandez's grandfather tonight. And we love you, Pep. And this will do it for the inaugural and final Jeff Rally. What'd you think?
Jeff, your parents called. They're coming home. So we got to clear.
Oh, we got to go. We got to clean up. We got to clean up the studio. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Are you getting ready for your next adventure? The city